Welcome to another episode of Business in West Africa. As
Yes.
always, I'm your host, Jim Bauman, and I'm joined by my co host, David Kpondehou, CEO and founder of Africa Samurai Consulting. In today's episode, we will talk a bit more about technology in Benin, in
Mm.
particular the Wi Fi infrastructure as well and 3G mobile data, as well as computers and phones. So, to start things off, David, I would like to know, do people in Benin generally use computers as well, or tablets, or do they largely use their phones, both for work and personal life?
Mm, Both. I think they use uh, computers and phones. It's have depend on what kind of work you want them to do. They are doing. So I think it's common. It is similar like Western countries and wherever in the world. So we do use phones and computers.
And these phones and computers are usually provided by the company in case you use it for work, or is it expected that the individual brings it themselves?
They can have a company's phone and also company computer. As I said, it's depend on the type of work because some work might need you to go on the field and use your computer or your phone to do the work. So for those reasons, if that's really what the job is, like the job look like or the job is, then they have to get the company phone and the company computer. So I think that's how it is. So
And in terms of phones, is it common to use smartphones, or people generally use like old school flip phones or Nokias that don't have touchscreens? Do they have like the most modern phones? What does it look like?
yeah, we have a lot of smartphone there.
Okay.
Smartphone there. So smartphone is these days are the most used phone for company or individual. But it depends on the service, the type of service you offering. So I think yeah.
And then when it comes to the phone, as an individual, I guess in this case, do you generally go for prepaid, or is it subscription based? What kind of plans are available in Benin in particular?
Uh, I think it's more prepaid. So you pay and you consume it and you pay again. But some company, if it is company demand, company can request, like can sign contract with subbank companies so that telecommunication companies so that they can have this done within monthly base. So they can get the bill every month about the consumption. But if it's individual base, some company prefer directly to work as for prepaid. So they pay the credit and use it, and you know they pay the data beforehand and use it. That's what I want to say.
So when they charge up the phone,
Mm.
it's generally to charge up data, or is it also for text messaging or minutes to call?
It depends. You can charge the phone, like charge, uh, and subscribe for data, and use or the other amount, the some other amount for SMS and call. So there is you have SMS service, you have a data internet service, and then you have a like a
Phone call?
phone call. And phone call and SMS uh, will be using the same system like a money.
Okay.
Yeah. So then to use data, like to use internet, then you have to you know subscribe for internet through manually or with some specific way.
And from what you told me before the show, a lot has changed and happened in the last couple of years.
Yes.
So right now, uh, in which way, using the phone, which way do people generally communicate with each other? Do they call each other via WhatsApp, or do they use Facebook Messenger? Do they call using the cell phone number? Do they SMS? How does that work at the moment?
As I said, things are changing very fast, And these days, people using more internet than direct call, so they will call through WhatsApp or Messenger than using phone call directly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more cheaper, I think.
I see. And then going into the infrastructure a bit, um, is there a lot of Wi-Fi available that people can use freely?
Free Wi-Fi is not common. It's not common because I think it's not common.
I
It's
see.
more personal data.
So generally they have to use mobile data if they
Mobile
want to
data.
communicate with each other.
Yes, mobile
see.
data.
And then that mobile data, is it 2G, 3G? Is it already up to the 4G level? Let's say the urban areas first.
4G is available.
Okay.
4G is available.
And then once you go outside the bigger cities of Cotonou or others, there's still 4G coverage, or that's when it starts dropping?
Well, you can still have 4G. It depends on the places. You can still have 4G, at least for some places. Maybe sometime you can have 3G, but 4G can be everywhere, depending on the telecommunication company,
The provider, of
the
course.
provider. Because if they provide 4G, then you can still have 4G everywhere.
I see. And is the so you would say like right now there's coverage throughout the entire country, or there's still certain areas that are blind spots that don't have any coverage?
Almost all the country is covered, because the places without, with zero network, I'm not sure. It's just seem rare, because that means you really went to the forest and deep down there. But I think we are doing good with internet in Benin these days, and yeah, this have been government priority some years ago, and I think they're doing pretty good with internet these days, and we even have more high speed internet and more cheaper, I think.
Okay.
In the West African region.
And then what probably many people who are starting a business in Benin are wondering about the Wi-Fi. You mentioned earlier there's not a lot of free Wi-Fi available. What if you have your office space and you want to set up your Wi-Fi, is there unlimited data, or when you go with the provider there's a maximum limit to it? How about the speeds? You've been living in Japan now for a bit. How do you look at the Wi-Fi infrastructure in Benin?
The Wi-Fi and internet infrastructure in Benin is, as I said, is pretty good, because nowadays you can choose which type of internet you want. So you can choose the internet commercial base, and you can also choose internet based on personal use. So you always have chance to get the high speed you're expecting. You can get it. It's possible, because there is even unlimited data, so it's possible to get those kind of data depending on the contract you sign for.
So unlimited data is not a given for every type of contract. You would have to pay a bit extra for that in order to get the unlimited data.
Yeah, it's up to, depending on what you really request for, and how much you think you will be using in internet.
And the companies that provide the Wi-Fi, they're also the same telecom providers that provide the mobile data, or are these different companies?
Not always. Mobile data provider can also provide the Wi-Fi with a specific system, but they still have some other company which are working actually for providing internet directly to the customer.
How many companies do you think are there that are competing with each other that you can sign contracts with?
Oh, that's a good question. I think currently, let's say, maybe, let's say 5 to 6, maybe 7 companies.
It's quite a lot. Are they all about the same size, or there's like one or two that are clearly much bigger than the others?
Yeah, there are some big company, but they all have the capability to provide internet,
I see.
Wi-Fi also.
So each have their own strengths and weaknesses that you can kind of compare with each other.
It's not. I'm not going to take it that way. I will maybe say some of them can provide uh, internet and mobile uh, like data,
Mm.
which are like those company are different from those who can just provide internet. So uh, they have some level of competition, but it doesn't mean like they are doing always all the same thing. So few company can provide at the same time telephone, mobile data, and Wi-Fi at the same time. So there are Wi-Fi provider only, and then the other company can
I see.
provide both. So yeah.
And is the connection quite stable? Like here in Japan or where I'm from in the Netherlands, there's not a lot of blackouts, and generally, um, we can expect the internet, whether it's Wi-Fi or mobile data, to work at all times. How is that currently in Benin?
Currently in Benin, the situation changed a lot. As I said, the current situation is good, very good. I think when I went to Benin last time, I didn't face any internet issue during all the 1 month I spent there. So I think it's good.
I see.
Yeah.
And then the final question I have for this is, since now living in Japan for a while, if whenever you go back to Benin, do you notice a drop in internet speed or anything else in terms of the mobile phone capabilities or just anything technologically compared to Japan, or it's almost reaching the same level already?
For sure, I'm not going to say the internet in Benin at the same level with Japan. But I think whatever we can do in Japan with internet, we can still do it in Benin, and that's something I do respect these days, because when I went there, as I told you, it's I could do the same thing. I remember one time I was trying to do a Skype video with a partner in Japan, and the internet was slow, and my brother have to tell me, oh no, you can speed up. It's up to you. You can ask for how much you want the speed. And I have to set up again from my phone, because I was sharing the internet from my phone to the
I
computer.
see.
So then I have to subscribe again with the same data, but I try to speed up, and then it was perfect. Yeah. So I think we have a lot of options. So if you don't want to use, like you don't want to use that much internet, then you can choose the normal one. But if you want to use it for extra thing, like more than social medias, then you need to speed up a little bit how much speed you want, and then that makes you get the perfect quality you want.
I see. So if I can summarize it, then the Benin from now and the Benin from maybe 5 or 10 years ago are totally different in terms of internet structure.
Yes, I think so.
And if you go for the high-end internet connections in Benin, they're comparable to what you can find in the developed countries, like Japan or Europe or the US. And even the foundational level, the base level, are already quite acceptable to do all the everyday things. Is that a correct
Yes.
summary? Okay. Then that's about it for today's episode. As always, social handles down below in the description. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us there. If you have any questions or comments about this episode, do leave them in the comment below. We will reply there, and otherwise, we will try to discuss it in a future episode.
Definitely.
David, as always, thank you for today.
Thank you very much.
In the next episode, we will talk about office space and how to get that in Benin.